Hi there, welcome to today's class. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited about this one. We are doing a full body workout on the mat. As usual, all you need is just a mat or a towel, a little bit of space, and just your body today. A little bit of motivation never goes astray as well. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to come down to the end of the mat here, and we're just going to start with a few warm-up exercises. So let's start by just getting ourselves positioned in that nice Pilates standing posture. So starting from the feet up, thinking about lifting up through the arches. Almost like there's a string at the top of your head and you're thinking about growing tall with your whole body. The arches lift up. We're engaging the bottom muscles slightly. Legs are nice and active. The belly is active as well, so those core muscles, by drawing the hip bones in towards each other, activating that transverse abdominis muscle, or thinking about drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Shoulders are relaxed down and back. Neck is nice and relaxed as well. Let's just have a nice big deep breath in here. Expanding into the ribs and out. One more big deep breath in and out. Let's just roll the shoulders back here, introducing some movement into the body as we maintain that good Pilates standing posture. For 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the arms up above the head, let's just bend the knees slightly and straightening back up. So thinking about reaching nice and tall with the arms, we're keeping that upper body in one nice long line. We're not leaning forward here, we're just bending the knees slightly into that little mini squat position. Using the breath, knees following the line of the toes. Try not to let that upper body move as you bend the knees. For 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Bringing the arms down. Let's just fold now, bending through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lowering down the hands towards the mat here. Only going as far as feels good for you today. If you can reach all the way to the mat, then that's awesome. Otherwise, we're just staying here for a moment. You might find that you like to bend one knee at a time and just feel that length in through the back of the legs here. Stretching into the calf muscles and into the hamstrings. And then let's just put a gentle bend through the knees and slowly roll back up into standing. Again, one vertebrae at a time. Get your hair out of the way. Bending forward again, let's repeat that. At the bottom here this time, let's just grab the opposite elbow with that hand, just gently swinging side to side. Again, if this feels good to bend your knees a little bit, you can do that. Otherwise, we're just introducing some movement in whatever way feels good for you down the bottom here. Starting to bring some attention to your breath as well, which is going to be important for this session today. All right, releasing those arms. Let's bring the hands in front, drawing the belly in towards the spine and poking the hips up towards the sky. Let's walk the arms out into that plank position, nice and slowly, engage through the core, strong through the shoulders. Holding this plank position. From here, we're going to move into pike. So thinking about drawing the abdominals down together. So almost like you want to bring the ribs down towards the hip bones. We're going to lift the bottom up slightly using just the abs and lowering down to plank again. Pike and lower down. So we're strong through the shoulders here, pressing up towards the sky. Legs are nice and active. And we're working into these abdominals. Exhale as you draw up. Inhale to lower down. The movement should stay centered in the middle of the body to really get the best work through these abdominals.
We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Coming back to plank. Let's bend the knees back, press back, arms straighten down in front, keeping the knees in a parallel line to the mat. So the shin should be parallel to the mat, and then pressing forward to plank. Nice and powerful movement. Bending back again, pressing forward. Core stays strong throughout, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Using that breath. Exhale to come forward. For 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Dropping the knees down here. Knees come wide. Let's just press back into that child's pose. Hopefully you're feeling your heart rate and your breath increase a little bit as we get started. Working all through the body here today. Reaching along with the fingers in front here, sitting the hips back. For one more big breath. Coming into that 4-point kneeling position now, just bringing the knees in closer so they come in line with the hips directly underneath. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Take them out to the width of the mat here. From here, we're going to work into the chest muscles. So bending the elbows, moving into a push-up position. Keeping the belly tucked in towards the spine to keep the core nice and active. As we bend the elbows, the weight shifts forward, and then we press back up to that starting position. Making sure we're not collapsing through the chest. We're staying nice and proud through the chest, pressed up towards the sky. Weight shifts forward, elbows bend, coming back up to center. Only going as far as you can manage. If that's just a small movement, that is perfectly fine. But really focus on keeping that nice, strong position in the core and in the upper body. Weight should be even between the hands. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift back up. So keeping the weight closer in towards the hands will make that a little bit easier. Otherwise, pressing the weight forward is going to make that movement a bit more challenging. So just stick with whatever level feels good for you today. We're not here for long. Shoulder blades drawing down and back. I shouldn't have done arms this morning at the gym. For 3, 2, and last one. Nicely done. Shuffle the hands in a little bit closer now. Let's keep these shoulders working in this nice strong position here. So pressing up, we're going to lift one hand off the mat at a time, tapping towards the opposite shoulder and releasing back down. So again, working into the core a little bit more here. So although this seems like a basic exercise, it can be really challenging when you're doing it really well. Drawing that belly button in towards the spine. Body does not move as we lift that hand to touch that opposite shoulder. Try to keep the elbows nice and soft. For 3, 2, and 1. Now let's extend that arm in front, lowering back down. Extend long, lower back down. So exactly the same concept. This time we're just introducing that extension to challenge ourselves a little bit more. Making sure as you reach the arm long, again, the body should stay nice and still. We don't want any arching through the upper or the lower back. We don't want to lose that core position. If this is too challenging for you, just taking the hand out in front of yourself rather than lifting all the way up. Keep those fingers spread nice and wide. Just spread that weight. For 3. I've got a shaky arm. 2 and 1. Again, nicely done. Upper body should be starting to feel good as well as the core. Let's bring the knees in a little bit closer together now. Tucking the toes under. We're going to press through the hands and through those toes, bringing the knees off the mat, keeping that core position. So up into a hover position. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Dropping back down. So working the shoulder muscles here, the core. Let's lift again. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got 3 more here, doing well. Pressing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2 more to go. Strong through the upper body. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one here. Stay with me if you can. Pressing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Nicely done. Let's just sit back on the heels for a moment here. Again, let's just bring the shoulders into some rolls. Give them a little bit of a rest here. And the other way for 3, 2, and 1. Now, for this next little series, you can either stay seated on the heels here or coming up into a kneeling position. Whatever feels good for you today. I'm just going to stay sitting on my feet for the moment, and I'll show you the progression onto the kneeling position as well. From here, we're just going to hinge forward at the hips, leaning the body a little bit over the legs if you're in this position with me. Arms are going to go out nice and straight by the sides of the body. We're going to lift the arms up behind and lower down, squeezing through the triceps to lift and lower. So working into the shoulders and the triceps here. You can tap the fingers gently on the mat when you lower back down, otherwise keeping them lifted the whole time. So working around those scapular muscles, the shoulder blade muscles, and the shoulders here. I said we were giving them a rest, but I lied. Keeping that hinge forward will make sure that we're working against gravity with the arms. Keeping the neck relaxed, just gentle gaze in front with the eyes. Keeping the arms nice and close to the body. And the core is active. Ribs are down towards the hips for that gentle core engagement. For 3, 2, 1. Let's stay at the top here for some little pulses. Squeeze those tricep muscles. Keep the arms nice and long and straight, extended through the elbows. Quick little movements here. Should be starting to feel some burning in the shoulders and those triceps. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying up high again. Let's bend the elbows in. Palms come in face towards the middle, extending along again. Keeping the shoulders back and down. Don't let them round forward. Just bending and extending. Keep that elbow up nice and high. So as you bend, I don't want it to come down at all. We're trying to keep it in line and not dropping. This is our last move here. I know it's a burner. Again, if you were on the knees for all of this, it's a little bit harder to hinge, but exactly the same concept.
there's just a little bit less stability here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms relaxed down. Nicely done. Let's just give those triceps a bit of a stretch here. So just bending one arm up towards the sky. Elbow bends behind the back. Opposite hand comes across, pressing the elbow into that hand as the hand draws that elbow in towards the head. So you're opposing those forces here to feel that stretch into the triceps. For 3, 2, 1. Give those arms a little bit of a shake and let's swap to the other side. Elbow bends, hand comes across, opposite forces, elbow presses in towards the hand, feeling that stretch in through the triceps here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, give those arms a shake. Nicely done. Let's find our way onto the mat now. Coming down to lie on the back. So in this supine position here, just finding yourself in your setup position. So knees bending up, feet are flat on the mat, knees are at hip width here. We're in a neutral spine position to start with, so there's that small space under the lower back here or under the sides of the waist. If you're having trouble finding that at all, just have a feel of your pelvis, so your hips on either side. Roll the pelvis all the way back to flatten the back on the mat, and then roll it all the way forward, and we want to find that middle position, and that is our neutral spine. Arms nice and relaxed down by the sides of the body. From here, we're going to press heavy through the tailbone on the mat. Tilt the pelvis back to flatten, just like I spoke about. Slowly rolling up into that bridge position. Heavy through the feet here. Thinking about squeezing all the leg muscles. I don't want you to focus just on squeezing the glutes. We want to really be working into the calves, the hamstrings, and the quads here as well. And then we're reversing that movement, slowly lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Let's repeat that. Rolling back to flatten one vertebrae at a time, slowly lifting into bridge. As we come to this top range here, remembering we want to keep control of the abdominals. So the ribs are down towards the hip. We're not allowing that back to arch or losing that rib connection. And slowly down. Stick with me here. Let's keep moving in your own time. Pausing at the top for a moment and then reversing that movement. Heavy through the feet. Making sure we're working all those muscles and reversing. If you find you can't get your hips all the way up to that top position there, that's fine. Just going to where feels comfortable for you. You may find you need to adjust your foot position a little bit as you get used to this movement. Using the breath as well. Exhaling as you lift. Inhale to lower back down. Let's do one more like this here. Holding at the top here, let's bring the arms up towards the sky. Lowering them down over the head, returning back to center. So as we lower the arms here, we're putting extra strain on the abdominals, making it more difficult to keep those ribs down towards the hips. So lots of concentration here. Exhale. Staying strong through the core. If this is too much for you with the arms, just holding that top position. So nothing should be moving except the arms here. We're using the abdominals to control this movement. For 3, 2, and last one. Rolling back down again. Arms can either stay up towards the roof here or can come back down the sides, whatever feels comfortable for you. Let's reverse, flatten the back, rolling up to the top now. Dropping the hips slightly. So rather than at that top range, we're just dropping the hips as if you were going to lower your bottom, pulsing back up, big squeeze back up. So just get used to the movement first, and then you can add some speed. Dropping the hips, squeezing the glutes to lift back up. Weight nice and even between the feet and each leg. Making sure the knees are staying in line with the hips. They're not wobbling in and out. They're staying nice and strong and stable as we do a bit of extra work into these glute muscles here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rolling back down again. We've just got a little bit more work here, doing really well. All right, let's flatten the back, roll back up to the top range here. Knees come apart slightly, bringing them back to that starting position. So taking them out and in. So this is called abduction, or it's almost a rotation as well. Making sure that the hip position is not changing as we take the legs out. So if you feel like as you take the legs out, you're losing that control, just take them a smaller way. We're not here for long. Working into the sides of the hips now as well. Staying strong. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep that rib to hip connection. For 3, 2, 1. And lowering down. Nicely done. Let's just give those glutes a bit of a stretch for a moment. So bringing that ankle over the opposite thigh here. Thinking about pressing this knee away nice and strongly to feel that stretch into the side of the hip here. If you need to intensify that at all, pressing the knee even further or drawing that opposite thigh in towards the body will enhance that stretch as well. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. And 1 more. Just release there on that leg and we'll swap over to the other side. Bringing the opposite heel across, thinking about pressing that knee away. Keeping the foot flex can just protect the knee a little bit more as well. Feeling it into that outside of that hip. Again, if you want to intensify that, bringing the thigh in, thinking about staying heavy and even through the tailbone and the lower back on the mat. So we're not isolating or trying to cheat with this stretch. All right, and unraveling there as well. Keeping the knees bent up in this position with the feet flat on the mat, we're going to bring one knee up into tabletop. So I'm starting with the right leg here. It doesn't matter which one you start with, but we will obviously do both sides. So bringing one knee into tabletop here. Extending long, pointing the toes, lengthening through the abdominals here, returning to tabletop. As we extend long, we're really feeling that length through the abdominals and then drawing back to center, really focusing on that movement. Only taking the leg as far as you can control. We want to make sure the hips are staying level. We're heavy into the mat with the tailbone. Exhaling as you extend long. Inhale to return to center. Doing well here. For 3, 2, and 1. Let's keep that leg nice and long now. We're going to sweep down, sweeping back up. So similar concept, similar movement, just working with a straightened leg now. I'm even feeling this in my quads, so you might find that for you as well. Really controlling the movement with these lower abdominals particularly. Belly button drawing in towards the spine. Nothing is moving there. We're staying nice and strong. For 3, 2, and 1. Popping that leg down now. Let's go to the other side. One knee bends up into tabletop. Extending long, pointing the toes, squeezing the quads, keeping that movement and that whole leg nice and active. Hips stay level on the mat. If you like, you can pop your hands on your hips to make sure that weight isn't shifting side to side. Exhale to extend. Inhale to return. Just go at your own pace. That supporting leg is obviously giving us some help with our balance, but try not to be too heavy through that foot. We still want this leg and the abdominals doing the majority of the work. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leg extends long, pointing up towards the sky now, lowering down, just like we did on the other side. Strong through these lower abs, thinking about those hip bones drawing in together, supporting and stabilizing, heavy through the tailbone. Again, you might feel it into that quad as we point everything nice and long and lengthen. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Returning there to our feet on the mat. Let's bring the hands behind the head now. Moving into some curling positions. So hands behind the head, elbows come nice and wide. Neutral spine position here. So we're still maintaining our core in that neutral spine. Heavy in the hands. Let's curl up through the abdominals, lifting the neck and the chest off the mat if you can. Otherwise, just lifting the shoulders and lowering back down. So exhale, curl up. Inhale to lower back down. So if you start to feel that your lower back is flattening into the mat, you've gone a little bit too far. We want to work into these upper abs here. Really focusing on drawing those ribs down towards the hips as you curl up. So we don't want to be pulling on the neck or the head at all. We're really driving this movement with the abdominals. For 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Let's keep going with this. We're going to add an arm extension. So curling up, extending the arms long, return and lower. Extend, return to head and lower. If this is too much for you, just stay with that normal curl. Otherwise, stick with me here, keeping the shoulders back and down as you extend the arms. Making sure those shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears, particularly when you return the hands to the head. So when you come back here, often the shoulders will creep up. Make sure they're staying low. So just putting these abs under a little bit more tension. Three more. Two. And last one. Well done. You should hopefully be feeling those abs burning here. Just bringing one knee in towards the chest here. I'm starting with the left knee. It doesn't matter which leg you start with. We're going to extend the other leg nice and long. Swapping legs then. Drawing that knee in towards the chest and extending the leg long. As we extend, we're maintaining that imprinted spine here. Using the breath. Working into the abdominals a little bit more. I know they're probably getting tired. Doing really well here. Only taking that extending leg as far as you can control. If you just point it up a little bit higher, that's fine. Otherwise, controlling it nice and low. If you want an extra challenge, curling your upper body up with me here for this last little bit of work. Maintaining that imprinted spine, necks nice and relaxed, keeping the chest up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing back down. Nicely done. While we're here and just slowing ourselves down, let's just gently take the knees side to side, feeling that movement through the abdominals we've worked and through the lower back as well. Keeping the upper body flat on the mat and just twisting through that lower back and those hips. All the hard work is done. Being conscious about slowing your breath down, lowering that heart rate. Let's just reach long over the head and straighten the knees and the hips. Feeling that length through the abdominals here. For a couple of breaths, you can close your eyes if you like. One more breath. Bringing the arms down by your side and just gently bringing yourself up into a sitting position here. Let's just reach the legs long, sitting up nice and tall in that long sitting. Bending forward at the hips, reaching the hands long, feeling that stretch through the back and through the hamstrings as well. Maybe into the calves. Just bending forward as far as you can manage. Really relaxing into this. Have some breaths each time you breathe out. Trying to release that body a little bit further. And returning up into sitting. Let's just place the hands on the thighs, have one nice big deep breath in, holding for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. All right, that is our workout done. Thank you for joining me. I hope you really enjoyed it and had a nice challenge. I'm definitely a little bit sweaty after that one. I'll see you next time.